This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Well, we begin on this Monday morning with a live look in Belleville right now, where it's nice and quiet. No one on the streets, at least not in that area, as I speak. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Right.
A good Monday morning, everybody. Yeah, it's a Monday, March the 20th. I'm Randy Knott.
And I'm Sydney Stallworth. I'm in for Michelle Lee. She's gone the entire week with her family, having some much needed family time. So I'm here holding it down. We want to say thank you for joining us, especially for those who are streaming on 5+. Now we got Paul watching the roads. It's also pretty quiet this morning.
Yeah, that's true.
And Gary with the weather, and it's cold outside.
That's right, it is indeed. And we're going to transition to warmer conditions, but at a price. We're going to start to work our way to some of that rain. And I think this is the day we want to get outside and enjoy, because we look outside, we have a nicer first day of spring. That's what we have right now. It is pleasant. This is the first day of spring, officially just after 4 o'clock. But right now, the biggest thing for us is the rain chances are going to settle in. So if you have things you need to do in preparation, or you want to just start to prepare, make sure the sump pump is in working order by the end of the week, because we got some heavy rain at times. Right now, as you mentioned, it is very, very quiet at this hour, and there's not much in the way of cloud cover, rain, or anything around here. But temps are in the 20s, very cold outside. And even as we look downtown, temps are in the upper 20s here at Lambert, but in general, it's going to be pretty pleasant this afternoon. Low 60s. Not all that bad in some cases, but I'll tell you what, it's a nice start to the week. We'll have more on those rain chances ahead, which will impact traffic, but that is not my speed. That's Paul Speed. Good morning, Paul. What's going on out there?
Well, Gary, you did that so well and trained me, so you're kind of my mentor, my friend. All right, you mentioned also spring break, which is a great thing to talk about because that changes our travel patterns. And if you're leaving early this morning, which is early for spring break, or anybody going to school or not going to school, you're moving very, very well. So downtown bridges are moving very, very well. Also Spanish Lake and in South County, you're flying along as we kind of cruise. I wanted to take a look here. This is 70 at Page. It's a black and white camera here, but we're moving very, very well, and you are seeing a little bit of volume. Also 40 eastbound at Mason. We do have some emergency vehicles. We'll have more traffic soon.
The time is 6:03, and we begin with a deadly crash on westbound Interstate 64. Right now, we know that one person has died, and at least 2 other people are hurt after the crash near Hampton. Details are limited, though, this morning, but we know that Interstate 64 is back open after police shut it down for several hours. It's unclear just how serious the injuries are to the other people, but police say the 2 people hurt are stable this morning. We'll pass along more information as we hear back from St. Louis Police.
Well, just a few hours from now, Missouri lawmakers head back to work in Jefferson City after a short spring break.
Yeah, on deck for the Senate is a heated fight for control of the St. Louis Police Department. Our Alex Fees is live for us this morning outside St. Louis Police headquarters in downtown with how much this could cost Missouri taxpayers. Alex?
Rennie and Sydney, you know, St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones jokingly refers to herself as a, quote, recovering legislator. It was back in 2013 when the state gave the city of St. Louis control of its own police forces once again. Jones at the time was in the Missouri House when that happened. Now, when the Missouri General Assembly gavels in this afternoon, the mayor will continue advocating against a state takeover of the city police. Her office says the police department's operating budget is roughly $140 million a year, and health insurance and pension benefits could tack on another untold, quote, tens of millions of dollars, and that the state would have to take in that cost. The proposals working through the Missouri legislature say otherwise. They would force the city to hand over ownership of all indebtedness and assets or face daily fines of $1,000, and the state shall accept responsibility, ownership, and liability for contractual obligations. Republicans have pushed for state control of the St. Louis Police, citing high crime and retention issues. Now, St. Louis Police hope pinning the takeover as a bailout of the big city will prompt some Republicans to reconsider the measure. The police union backing the transition has expressed confidence it would survive challenges in court. Now, coming up at the bottom of the hour, what would happen to recent police officer pay raises if indeed the state does take over? Live this morning outside police headquarters, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Alex. In just a couple of hours, St. Louis County will unveil a plan to keep your kids safer in the classroom. County leaders will share ways to help first responders navigate through school buildings easier during the case of an emergency. Every school will have labels so that they can move in the building without needing a map. We'll learn more at a press conference at Highcroft Ridge Elementary School at 9:30 this morning.
Right now, dozens of students are on the road to learn about educational opportunities that are beyond high school. About an hour ago, 40 high schoolers left for a week-long trip, exploring the opportunities at historically black colleges and universities. Our Elise Schilnick joins us now live from University City with more on what this trip means. Elise?
Hey, Runny and Sydney. Yeah, that's right. We got to watch those students just as they were heading out. They looked a little bit sleepy as it is early, but they were still, really excited to get to take this tour and get to just travel as far as they're going to get to travel. And of course, this is all to just explore the opportunities that lie within HBCUs and really teach them, where they could potentially even be one day. So let's just tell you all a little bit about who these students are, where they're going. So there are 40 of them, Rennie, like you said, and they come from about 20 different schools in the St. Louis area, high schools that is. So they will be touring 6 different schools across 3 different states, and then they'll end at the Houston Museum of African American Culture. So they've got the Alcorn State University, Xavier University of Louisiana, Dillard University, Texas Southern University, Prairie View A&M University, and Grambling State University. Now, the Ivy Foundation is behind this whole bus tour, and they've done this for more than 15 years, and it's designed to, again, just give more perspective, more context surrounding the educational opportunities within HBCUs. Here's what one organizer had to say.
Oh, wow. The impact is absolutely amazing. Students get an opportunity, many of them who wouldn't otherwise have this opportunity to visit as many colleges as we are about to visit on today.
And stick with us here because in the next half hour, we'll talk a little bit more about what these organizers say is really the significance behind these HBCUs. Sydney and Rennie.
Now, Elise, before we let you go, I think I've mentioned it quite a bit on this show. I'm very proud to have graduated from Howard University, but I have to ask, the Ivy Foundation has done so much work in the community, and when they take these students out, they're not just going on a walking tour, they're going to be able to talk to administrators and students, right?
Yeah, Sydney, and that's funny. That was probably one of the first things that I learned about you. You are a proud alum, so glad you can kind of just share in how much this means. But yes, you're certainly right. They said it really is just an overall experience, right? So they're really getting that feel for the atmosphere, that feel for the environment, and they're also learning as well, just how important it is that they're considering these opportunities and, just seeing it kind of firsthand.
The alums taking care of that next generation.
Yes.
Thank you, Elise.
6:09 and a Monday morning where a lot of you have work or school off, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're stuck around, and maybe you're not like Anthony who got out of town a little vacation. You're cold, and it's been cold this weekend. I got news for you. We're going to be in better shape this week when it comes to temperatures. We just have to get through this morning. Cloud cover around, but for the most part, we are going to warm up from where we are, 29 degrees. Our wind is calm right now, but it's started to switch out of the south. That's a good wind direction to help us warm up. The rest of the afternoon, we're near 60 degrees. We're going to head to the mid to upper 50s later on this afternoon. Even this evening, we're going to stay relatively mild. It is the first day of spring, not meteorological spring. That's March, April, May. Those are record purposes. Our vernal equinox at 4:24. What it's like the rest of the week and why it's very spring-like when it comes to rain chances just ahead.